Hi Peter, so it is the Sunday after our group trip to Japan, and this is my overall trip reflection. So as a whole, I think the trip went off flawlessly. In my perspective, I thought everything went very smoothly and seamlessly. I really enjoyed staying in the train stations. I just thought that was really convenient for us to get around. I also thought that our flight times were fantastic because right now I'm not super jet lagged. I mean, when I woke up this morning, I kind of felt like I got hit by a train, but as I've gone throughout the day, I feel a lot better, and I really appreciate having this extra day to get ready for classes and life again tomorrow. In addition, I think our group events were just fantastic. They went really smoothly and were a great way for us to get together and just mix and discuss what we had done on the trip. Reflecting on the trip, I also think that it was just excellent prep overall for international business. When we were at the Denver elevator pitch, I talked to some people from Minnesota and they told me how they were in China for 2 weeks, and I was like slightly jealous. I was like, wow, like I wish we were going to be in Japan for 2 weeks. But now that I've been on the trip, I think that a week is actually the perfect length because of the fact that I think it's much more realistic of what a business trip would be like. And coming back and having homework, I think, is much more realistic of what it's like to come back from a business trip, just because when you get back, you still have, a ton of work on your desk and a lot to get done. So I feel like it's excellent preparation for our future careers, or whether we open our own businesses or are working for a corporation. I feel like it's a great way to get us ready. In addition, I traveled everywhere by subway, and I loved it. I loved the subway in New York too, but I especially loved the subway in Japan just because it was so clean and it was so timely. I really wish that we had that quick and reliable public transportation here in Portland. So I also think that this trip made me a lot more mindful of the United States culture and our image. We had talked in class about how we're a really loud culture, but I hadn't ever even thought that we were that loud until I went to Japan, and we're really loud. Like, even on trains and subway stations, when we're trying to be quiet, we're still pretty loud. So I think this just made me really mindful of our culture and the differences. In addition, it kind of made me want to strive to be cleaner. When I see something on the street, definitely pick it up, whereas before I'd think about picking it up, but not necessarily do it. And in addition, just kind of how I felt after New York, I just felt a lot more confident in myself, and I definitely feel that same way now, just to have been able to go to Japan, actually have business meetings with people who are interested in meeting with me, and then also just getting around. Like I said, I got around everywhere by subway, so that was kind of empowering, just that I could navigate and get to places on time even when I couldn't read most signs, even though they had an English option. Like when I initially get to the train, it's normally in the Japanese characters. So that was exciting, just that I was able to get around. If I was to change things about the trip, I think I would have dressed a little bit more casually. For most of my meetings, I was extremely overdressed, especially for my meeting with Mont Bell. They were like all in t-shirts and fleeces, so I felt a little bit overdressed for those, but it's definitely better to be overdressed rather than underdressed. I would also encourage more people to get a Wi-Fi pack. That was how I was able to travel everywhere by subway, and how I was able to do most things. I feel like it's pretty embarrassing that I'm not really that great at maps, so I kind of needed the GPS travel. So it worked out really well for me and for the other people on the trip that had it. So I think that's the way to go. I mean, I would even forego a phone plan and just use the Wi-Fi pack because I never really used my phone plan. In addition, I had no idea how much the Japanese culture still smoked. Like, I was not expecting that at all. So I think that in the future, if I don't even know if they have non-smoking floors in hotels or what, but in one of the hotels, it seemed like one floor was just extremely smoky all the time and kind of difficult to breathe. So maybe that's something that if we travel to Japan again, we can look out for in the future. But overall, I think the trip was an incredible experience. I'm really thankful for all the work that you put into it, and I am very excited for the rest of eScholars and the hard work for the 100K challenge that's coming up. Thanks again, Peter. Bye.